Hello coders, hope all of you are doing great. So in this project, we're going to build this drop particle dashboards. As you can see, the moment I'm hovering my mouse on this yellow canvas, I can able to generate multiple particles, and they are in different insides going in different directions, and their colors are also changing. You can able to control all the things, like you can able to change the shape, you can able to change the color, you can able to increase or decrease the speed. So a tons of things you can able to understand and learn in this project, because we're going to build this project from scratch. We're not going to use any external library. I will explain you every single code which I have written in the JavaScript, because so that's all we'll explore, and this will give you a very good understanding of ECMAScript. We have used class constructor, request animation frame. So I'll teach you that how you can generate these particles, and this will give you a very good understanding to your web development. So that's it for the intro part. Let me dive you into my Visual Code Studio and explain you that how you can build this from scratch. And I really want to thank Frank, because he made amazing tutorials on Canvas, and this is something I have learned from him. So I thought, let's try with a better UI. So this is the UI which I have designed. So let's dive into my Visual Code Studio and let's start building this project. So let me take you through this code, that what I have written. I have removed the margin, padding and box sizing to border box, and I have applied some styling to my body tag. So our position is going to be absolute, display flex, align item center, width is 100 wbh and height is 100 VH, which will make my box responsive to all the devices. So this is the general styling which I have applied in this project. So before I start writing the code for this project, I have already finalized the color which I am going to use in this project. So here I have declared all the variables I have here. So let me quickly declare those variables here in my project CSS. So whenever you want to declare any colors, any variables in your CSS, this is how you do it. You cite root, and inside this you're going to provide all the variables. So here what I have taken, I have provided a background color to my icons which I'm going to use in this project. I have declared the main color for the project. I have declared the light color and dark color for this box shadow. So these are the color which I'm going to use, and the best part of declaring this color variables, because if you make any changes right up here and you use these variables in your project for defining colors, paddings, by making simple change here, you can easily able to change all the styling, all the color by changing this value. And this is the benefit and advantage you have, which you can play around from your end to have different color on the same website. So that's the pretty much settings for the CSS. Now let's move to the HTML and let's write the code for this project. So the very first thing I want to do is I want to create a main container. Inside that I'm going to display my icon, title and my canvas where we're going to draw the particles. So let me create the main container first with the class. Inside the main container, I'm going to use the icon. As you can see in the demo one, we have an icon, a titles, and inside and below that we have our canvas where we are drawing the particles. So for the icons, I'm going to use this websites. I'm going to import the icons from there. This website is absolutely amazing. You can easily use it. So they have tons of icons. So I will simply go start using, and I will copy this code and I will come here and I will simply paste the code. So this is the icon I'm using in the project. So let's open this, copy, and I'm going to paste the icon here. Now let's come to the document. As you can see, we have our icon right up here. So let's come to the style tag, and here I'm going to provide a background color to this before we start writing the code. So let's take the background color is going to be, I will take this variable to main bg. As you can see, the color is completely changed. And I do one more thing. I'm going to say justify content is going to be center. That's make everything in the middle. So that's everything, whatever we're going to write, whatever container we're going to create, that all will come in middle from all the sides. So let's come back to our document, and now I will create a div with the class name of title, because I want to display this title. So I'll say dot title title, and inside the div I will take h1 tag and I will say draw particles. So as you can see, we got our text here. So here what I can do, I can wrap this icon and this title div inside another div. So let's come here and let's say inner container, and this will help me to make the things into the center. So it will help me in placementing the divs. So we have main container, we have a inner container. Inside the inner container we have this icon, and we have another div with the name title, and we have this h1 tag. So outside this inner container, what I can do, I can create another div, draw, with the name of draw, and inside this div I'm going to take the canvas where we're going to draw the particles. So canvas is an inbuilt tag of HTML which comes with a lot of properties which you can use it to manipulate and create different designs, different patterns on the canvas. So I'll assign an ID and I'll call it canvas. So that's it, that's the HTML part. Now let's move to the CSS and let's start designing this canvas, all the classes which we have created. So the very first classes we have created this main container. So let me copy this, let's come here and let's provide some styling to this main container. So let's say width is going to be 84%, height is going to be 80%, and let's provide a background color, this main BG, and box shadow is going to be where this box shadow color. So this is how everything is looking right this moment. Let's provide a border radius. Border radius is going to be around 2 rem. We generally use RAM, you can use EM, you can use pixels. So RAM is more convenient and it helps you to make a responsive layout. So that's why I'm using REM throughout this project. Padding is going to be 1 RAM from all the sides. So we are done with the container part. Now let's move to the inner container. As you can see here, we have one more div with the class inner. Simply copy this and let's come to the CSS. I'll say main container and I'll target the inner container. So the very first thing I want to do is I want to provide a little bit more padding to my inner container. So I'll say padding is going to be, let's say 1 RAM. You can do one thing, you can provide padding here or here, but I would like to give padding specifically to this section or to this section. So this is how I would like to build. You can go with any approach, whatever comfortable with you. So now I would set the display property is going to be the flex and align item is going to be center. So both the things will come in the middle side by side. As you can see, they are in side by side. Now what I can do, I can target this icon and I want some spacing from the right hand side. So I can do that. Main container dot inner container. So let's define a width. So I'll take a width is going to be 5 RAM. See, this look good. Let me open the browser. Yeah, it's absolutely perfect. And let's increase the font size is going to be 20 pixels. Font width is going to be bolder. This will make it a little bold. And let's change the color is going to be icon color, this color. As you can see, the color is changed. Let's say position is going to be relative, because if you want to give any spacing margin, it's better to use that. So I'd say cursor is going to be pointer, because when we click on this we want to open the box, so I want to use this cursor pointer. Now let's target this title. I want to change the color and the font family a bit. So I'll say inner container dot title title, and first I will change the color to this icon color, and I want to change the font family to be, my favorite is Times Roman, so this is the font family I want to use. I think the size looks good. Let me do a changes in the size. So I'll say font size is going to be, let's say 25 pixels. It's too big. Let's say 20 pixels. So you have to keep trying. If you find a good size compatible with the project, you can go with that. So that's it for the titles. Now in the HTML we have one more class with draw. So let's come here, let's target that. So this container we have inside the main container. So main container, so I'll say main container dot draw, and I would assign width is going to be, let's say 100%, and height is going to be 100%. I would change the background color to be yellow, because in the demo one we have used a yellow color. So this is how everything is looking right this moment. I think I have to do the changes in the height. So let's say 85%. Yeah, this looks perfect. Let me give a border radius is going to be 2 rem. So this is how everything is looking. Let me open the big browser. So it's looking beautiful. Now we can work on the let's provide a box shadow is going to be shadows around the box. So here we are passing the positive value in the lighter color, here we are passing the negative value in the darker color. So that's why we are getting this pattern. So you can do the experiment with the values which we have declared in the global settings right in the root directory, and you can come up with your own. So ID, so first thing I would do is I'll do margin is going to be 0, padding is going to be 0, width is going to be 100%, and height is going to be 100%. And the width and the height we have provided to this canvas, that is in respect of this draw class which we have created here, this div. So it's in respect of this we are providing this 100% and 100%. So that's it for the CSS and HTML part. Now let's move to the JavaScripts, and here we're going to do all the magics with the codes to drawing some amazing particles on our canvas. So the very first thing I want to do is I want to target the canvas because on which we're going to draw the particles. So I have assigned an ID to my canvas, so I'll say const canvas canvas document dot get element by id, and I'll take canvas, and I'll create another const variable with the name of ctx, is that for context canvas dot get context. Why 2D? Because I'm going to draw particles on this canvas. This canvas is a 2D. There are multiple values, like you can go with WebG, you can go with 3D, but in this project we are focusing on the 2D particles. We want to move our particles on this canvas, so we are focusing on that. I know there is a lot of noise at the background, just focus on this project. So to check everything is working fine, what I can do, let me quickly console log my canvas and see that everything's working fine or not. So here I'm doing inspect element, but I'm not finding this. So let me do one thing. Let me copy this code and let's copy here and let's come here. Let me remove this file which I've connected, my JS file, and I'll take a script tag, and inside this I will paste my code. Oh, it's working fine here. So as you can see, it's working. Let's cut this for a while. Let's write the JavaScript here. We'll try to fix that later. So the main purpose of this tutorial is to make you understand that how you can build this kind of things with the help of JavaScript. So let's focus on that. If I do my ctx, I can able to find all the properties of our canvas here. I hope you can guys see it, and we can easily able to manipulate this, and we can easily able to play and create particles on our board. So everything's working fine. Let me zoom a bit so you can have a proper look. So I'm writing my JavaScript in my HTML document. I have created this script tag, and inside this I'm going to write my JavaScript. So let me cut this. I don't need this for now. Let me remove this code. So the very first thing I want to do is I want to set the canvas height to the Windows height. For that, how I would do it, I'll say canvas dot width window dot inner width. So I'm saying that whatever the width of the window, just make that to our canvas so we can able to have a control. Let me do the same thing for a height as well. So let me change the values to height, HEIGHT height, and here I will change its height as well. Now I want to do one more thing. So let me draw the particles. Let me draw that one circle on the canvas, then we can do other things. So for drawing a circle on the canvas, so if I inspect element and if I do console.log, and inside this I'll say ctx. So here in the console you will find I'm getting all the properties related to this canvas, and if I scroll it down here you can see we have an arc mac. So here we have objects, and here we have a prototype. Inside the prototype we have a lot of properties which we can use it to do a lot of things on the canvas. So here I'm going to draw arc. We generally use it whenever we want to create any circle or any type of shapes. So for that we use arc. We have a function for rectangles. So here we have a fill rect for creating a rectangle. So let me first create a rectangle and show you that how you can build. So for creating a rectangles, the very first thing I want to do, I want to declare. So I'll say ctx dot fill style. So here we have to define that what kind of color we want to our rectangle. So it's a yellow, so I'll want a black. So I'll say yellow is black, and here I'm going to use the fill rect, which is a inbuilt property of canvas to draw a rectangle on the canvas. So again I will say ctx dot fill rect, and here I have to pass 4 values. Here, as you can see, here we have to pass x coordinate, y coordinate, width and height for drawing our rectangle. So I'll say my x coordinate is going to be 100 and my y coordinate is going to be 100, and the width of our rectangle is going to be 150. Let's say 150. We're going to change this value dynamically as well, but here I'm doing hardcore, so the height is going to be also, let's 50. So as you can see, I got the rectangle on my canvas, and I can do this ctx dot fill. So this is the additional property. You can use it, you can't, but when you want to draw a circle, on that time you have to use this fill to fill the color. If I want to change the color to this white, the rectangle color is white, so let's come back to the previous one. But there is one problem. The moment I will resize my skin, so let's do one thing. Let's see one thing. The moment I will expand, as you can see, the shape of a rectangle is also getting expand, and it's distorting the shapes and making it hazy. If I squeeze it, it's getting smaller, and this looks not that great. So for fixing this, I can add a event listener on the window resize. So how we can do that? So simply I'll say window. On this I'm going to add an added listener. So whenever someone refreshes the window and set the window size to any device, it will automatically adjust according to that. So I will add a event listener, and I would set the property to resize. So here I will set the value to resize, and I want to run an arrow function on this, and here I'm simply copy this code, and I will simply paste it here, save it, and the moment I would resize this black box will disappear. Just keep an eye on that. As you can see, it's disappearing. Why it's happening? Because when our window is getting resized, everything is getting refreshed, and we are not having the initial coordinate we have assigned to our rectangle is getting changed. So that's why we are not able to see our rectangle. So for that, we can do one thing. We can simply copy this, and we can paste inside the resize functions here. So right now we have, and the moment I will resize the screen size, it will stay there. As you can see, it stay there having the same line. So this is how you can fix this issue. It's not a big deal. So in the demo one, we are drawing particles. So whenever we are overing, we are having a lot of circles. So instead of drawing a rectangle, let me draw a circle. So let me get rid of this code, and let me get rid of this code as well. So for drawing a circles, we have to follow few properties of an arc. So first thing, I have to assign a begin path of our circle. So I'll say ctx dot begin th path, and that's all property which I'm using. If I do console logs, let me show you once again, console.log and ctx. If I click here, come back here, and here you can able to find all the values. Whatever value I'm using for drawing rectangles, you can find right up here in the prototype. So here I have used the fill rect. This is the inside this. If you expand length 4, you can able to find all the values. So whatever I'm using, I must tell you to have a look here, and with the help of this you can do a lot of things on the canvas. So let's close this part, and let's get rid of this console. So I have assigned the begin path. Now I have to assign a color, that what color I want to use to my circle. So I'll use this fill style is mainly for color. So I'll say the color is going to be initially be black. So black black, and now here I'm going to use the ctx.arc So we use arc for drawing a circle on the canvas. So same, we have to provide a x coordinate, we have to provide y coordinate 100. The third property is going to be the radius, that if you want your circle to be 100 pixels or 50 pixels from the center. So here I will provide pixels radius, and I want to start from 0 degree to 360 degree. So 0, and here I will use math dot pi divided by multiply by 2. So this generally means 360 degree. 0 degree and math dot pi 2 is 360 degree. If I save, nothing will happen. Why? Because I have to call it the function. I have to call fill, and now I will have a circles. No, I'm still not having it. Let's see what's the problem. So here is the problem. So it's not double I. So as you can see, I got my circle in the canvas. So let me put this into a function because I want to call it over and over again. So I'll call it in draw circle circle. If I'm making any spelling mistake, just forgive me because I'm really very bad with the spelling. I will simply copy this entire code, and I can put inside the function. Now I can use this draw function of circles wherever I want for generating multiple particles. So we are done with this drawing circle on the canvas. Now as you can see, it's got disappeared because I have to call the function draw circle function. So initially it will have, and again if I reload the screen, resize the screen, it will disappear. So I can fix it by simply calling this function inside this, and now I can use wherever I want. As you can see, it still work. So now what I want to have this circle wherever I click on my canvas. So how I can do that? So for that I will take a const. So if it's not making any sense right this moment, just follow along with me. You will learn everything, that how everything is working. So I'll take a mouse const variable, and inside this I will create an object for my x coordinate, which is going to be undefined because we don't have any value to our x, and the y coordinate is going to be also undefined because we are not assigning any value initially. We can, but we are going to have the value on the click of the canvas. So whenever we click, we want to update the value of our x. So what I want to draw a circle on the click. So for that I want to add event listener on the canvas. So I'll call canvas dot add event listener, and what I want to click. So when someone's click on the canvas, I want to execute this function. So I'll take arrow function, and inside the arrow function I will call my draw function. So for listening any kind of event, I have to pass here e. So if I pass e, you can give whatever name you want, but I call it e because it's small. So if I do console log, if I console log this e, I can able to have all the values. So let me go here, and if I click on the canvas, you will see that I'm getting some values. So here I'm getting all the values. So if I scroll down, and if I scroll all the way down, as you can see here, I'm getting x, my x value of x and value of y, that where I have clicked on the canvas. If I click somewhere else, let me do this, let me refresh the browser. If I click once again, I'll get the value. So this is how I can use this value to generate my particles, generate the colors on the canvas. So this is how I can do it. So let me simply console remove this part, and let me update the value which we are getting from in the expect elements. So I want to update my x and y value. So I'll say mouse dot x is equal to e dot x. So whatever the value of e, when we are clicking on the mouse on the canvas, we are getting, that should be assigned to our mouse x. So this is what I'm declaring here. Same I have to do for the y. So I'll say e dot y coordinate. If I come here and do a console log, give a quick console log, and if I check my mouse dot x, mouse dot y, save, you will find that I'm getting the console, getting the value of x and y. So if I click on the canvas, I will get the value of x and y. So 551. If I click here, I'm getting higher number. If I click here, I'm getting less number. So wherever I click, I'm getting the coordinate from the x-axis and from the y-axis. So that means everything's working fine. Now we can use this value to assign to our x and y coordinate of the circles to have a circle on the canvas. So we can update that. So let's quickly remove this part. Now I have to do, so whenever I click on the canvas, so I want to have a circle. So if I do this, and let me cut this, click. So if I click, I want, so nothing is working because here I have to update the x and y coordinates. So simply copy this x value here and simply paste here, and I have to do the same for the y. Now it will work. So the moment I will click, I will have this circle. As you can see, I'm having this circle on my board. You can do the changes in the radius and make it smaller circle. We're going to do all this dynamically. So that means everything is working fine. Let me do the same thing for the mouse over effect. So when we mouse over, we want to have a particles generated. So let me quickly replicate this, and this time I'm looking for mouse over, mouse move, and I'm listening the value of e and x and simply updating the draw function. As you can see, now we are getting this draw effect on our canvas. This is how you can create a paintbrush, Photoshop for this paint. So this is how you can do it. So now everything's working. Now what I want, let me just get rid of this quickly. So now what I want, whenever I mouse over, so I have removed the draw function, that's why I'm not able to have the circle on the canvas. I want to generate particles like that, circles, and I want to move them in different directions. So for that I'm going to use the class constructor method of JavaScript, which allow me to create the class, and I can assign different properties to that. Use class constructor. So I'll say class, and I'll use this particles. You can give whatever name you want, but make sure it start with capital P. And I'll open the parentheses, and inside this I will type constructor, this bracket, and inside this I'm going to define some classes like my x and y coordinate, the size of the circle which I'm going to generate randomly, and I want to provide the speed from the x and y coordinate to our particles. Whenever we hover or click, I want them to move in different direction, whether it will go up, whether it will go down, right and left. So those are the variables, those are the classes which I'm going to declare here. So I'll use this dot x. So I want to update my x with the mouse dot x initially, then again same for the y, and I have to take the mouse dot y. Why I have taken this? Because when I hover on the canvas, so my mouse is somewhere on the canvas, so it has some values, because here I have added a event listener of click and mouse over. So every time my mouse will move, it will generate particles, and this value will get updated. This x and y will get updated. So when the x and y coordinate get updated, I want to generate particles. So for that I'll use this, and I want to generate particles, means circles size. So I have to provide the circle we generate, I want to provide the size to the circles. I can do a hard coded, but here I'm doing dynamic. I don't know why I'm fumbling this. So here I will do dynamically. I'll use math dot random, and this is a JavaScript inbuilt feature which allow you to generate numbers between 0.0 to 0.9, any random number, and I'm going to use that random number to generate different circles with the help of little bit calculations. So I'll multiply with let's say 7 plus 1. So the circle radius is going to be between 8. So whatever number this math random will generate, I want to multiply with this 7 to 8. So this is what I'm doing here. That will give me a random size to every circle we create. So now once the particles get generated, I want to make them move in different direction, whether up and down. So I have to take the x coordinate. So this dot speed x, because it will go x whether this side or this side, or maybe up and down. So I'll use the math dot random property, and again it will generate me a random number. So this time I would say take 3, I'll do minus 0.5, and this will give me both plus and minus number, and that will help me to generate, and that will generate the particle different direction speed. Same I have to do for the y axis. I have to change this value to y. And I came to learn about this Canva tricks because of the Frank. He's an amazing guy. He has amazing tutorials. So these are the tricks he taught me in his videos, which was really amazing and helping me to generate these particles. So I must tell you to have a look to his tutorial as well, because he has amazing tutorials. So what I have done here, I have assigning the value to my x and y coordinate. I'm generating the circle in different size between the value 8. This random number will generate any number, and I want to multiply the number with 7 or with 8. And same thing I'm doing for the x and y coordinate for generating the speeds. So these are the few classes I have taken. Now I have to call the update functions, because I have this value, what I want to do with that. So I want to have some movement on the canvas. So whenever I click on, I want to update the function, and inside the update function I want to update the x coordinate with the speed, so it will move in the same direction. And this is how we can do it. I'll call it this dot x, and I would say plus equal to plus, I want to say this dot speed x. So wherever the circle is generated in the on the canvas, and whatever the location, and after that whatever number it gets generated from here, it will move in that same direction. This is what I have said here. Same I will do for the y coordinate. Let's come here, say y, and now here we have created the draw function, but I'm going to remove this and I will create a draw function here. So I will say draw, and I will call this draw circle function here. So let me cut this and let me paste this here, and now we don't need this one. So now we don't need this ones, and now I'll create another function, and with the help of that function I will create certain particles on my canvas. So let me show you what I mean by that. So let's say I'm creating a function with the name of, and inside this I'm going to run a for loop, because I want to generate the particles. So whenever that loops runs, it will generate one particles. When second time it's run, it will generate one particles. That means particles means the circle. So here I will call a for loop, and inside I'll say let I is equal to 0, and initially I'm giving a hardcore value, but I will do it dynamically. So let's say I want to generate 100 particles. Let's say 50. 100 is too much. 50 particles, and I want to do I plus plus, and inside this whatever particles this loop generate, I want to store that particles somewhere. So I will come up here and let me create another variable. So here I'll create a variable, I'll say const, and I'll create an array. So I'll give a particles array. You can call it whatever you want, but I would call it particle array, and this would be blank. Initially it would be blank because we're going to push all the particles through the loop. Here I'll simply call the particles array. I'll say particles array. So when this loop will run, I'll say particles array. I want to push, I'll use the push property of JavaScript. I'll say new particles, and I'll call this. So this new keyword will trigger this particles function which we have created, this class constructor. So every time it will run, it will refer to these particles. These particles will find out the x and y coordinate, it will generate the circles, then it will provide the movement, and it will keep updating. And this is how this entire cycling goes on. So whatever particles we are generating on click or on mouse over, that's all we are pushing into this particles array. Initially it's blank, initially nothing there, but we are pushing through this new particle. So this is what I'm doing here. I want to do one more thing. I want a function to handle all the movements, like update functions or draw functions. So I'll create another function with the name, let's say handle, handle particles. Inside this I would run a for loop, and I'd say let I is equal to 0, I less than particles array dot length I plus plus. So here what I'm doing, whatever particle I will generate on my mouse over or click event, that will refer to this, and that particle will store here, and each time it will run the particles array length, and it will update this update and draw. So here I will say particles I, because we have multiple particles, and this I denotes the loop. So first I want to update the functions like speed, so I'll say update, and second thing I want to do, I will say particles array, and this time I want to update the draw function for drawing the circle. So let's see, everything's working fine in our console. We are not getting any error, so our console looks fine. So let's cut this and let's come back here. So we have created this handle particle function, but how we can move our particles? So now I need one more function which can create the animation and move the circles wherever we want. So how we can do that? So for that I'll create another function, let's say animate, and inside this I'm going to use a request animation frame, which used for animation. You can use set interval, so I'll call it request animation frame, and inside this I'm going to call the same function animate, and this will create a loop. And inside this I'm going to call this functions, this particle handle particles function. So the moment I would call this handle particle function, inside this animate you will find that 50 circles are generated and they will move in different sides, because here we are declaring 50, so it will run into loops. So let's come here and paste. The moment I save, you will find nothing's happening. Why? Let's come to console. Why nothing is happening? So here it's saying that draw function is not defined, where I have used draw function. So there I have used draw function. Let's cut this and let's see what's wrong. I have created this art function, so here I have to call this function, so art. The moment I will save it, you will find that 50 particles, 50 circles. Oh, here I have to do the changes. I have to update this values to this part, and here I have to change the y coordinate. Here I have to change the y coordinate, and here I have to change the size as well, because we want to have random size. So the moment I will save, it will update. So still it's not happening. So I was looking for the problem, that why it was not showing up. So what I have found, that here I have made two mistakes. The one, that I have to call this animate function, so let me call it quickly. So animate, animate, and let me save it. Nothing's happening because here I have done one more problem. Here I have provided the x and y coordinate according to the mouse click event. So let's comment this for a while, and let me give a fixed width and height to this canvas. The moment I will give, you will see. So I'll say this dot x, and I'll say this, I'll use the math dot random. I want to generate this particle randomly all over my canvas. So first I'm defining the x coordinate. So first I have to define the x coordinate. So I'll say canvas dot width, and let me replicate this, and here I will say height, and let me change this to y coordinate. And the moment I will save, you will see that the particle will start move all around my canvas. As you can see, the particles are moving, but as you can see, they are leaving this trail behind. I don't want that. So for that, what I can do, I'll come here into my animate function, and I would call this ctx dot clear, clear rect, rect, and inside this I have to define the height and the width which I want to clear. So I'll say x coordinate is going to be 0 and y coordinate is going to be 0, and I have to define the width. So here I will take the canva width is going to be width, and same for the canva height. So I'll say canva dot height. The moment I will save, you will find that this function will clear all the previous paths. So let me save it, and as you can see, the particles are moving randomly and it's getting generated in random location. If I increase this number 50 to 100, you will see that we will have a, let's say 150. You will find that we have a 150 particles on our canvas. But what I want to generate these particles on the click event and on the mouse over effect. So for that, what I will do, I will simply just delete this function because I don't want this function, and let's come into the click event function here. Here I'm going to create the same loop for generating these particles. So for that, what I will do, I will first run a loop, for loop, and I'll say let I is equal to 0, and on the click event, on the mouse click event, I want to create 5 particles. You can create as many as you want. So I'll say if I is less than 5, let's say 10, and I want to increment the I. So this is the loop I'm creating, and in this I'm going to call the same particles array. So I'll say particles array. I'll use the push method of JavaScript. It's an inbuilt features, and here I'm going to type the new keywords, and I will look for the particles class, and I will call this function. So the moment I will save it and come to my canvas and will click, it will generate 10 particles randomly on the mouse location. As you can see, I can able to create 10 particles from different location. Why it's happening? Why it's not getting created under my mouse? Because here I have to change this value. I have to uncomment this part, and here I have to, for the this I have to make this. So this function I have to activate. Like on the click, I want to define the position under the mouse. So I'll click here, and it will generate 10 particles under my mouse. Wherever I click, it will generate 10 particles. I can simply increase this number like 110, and the moment I will do that, it will generate 110 particles. So let me just make it to 10, and I want to do the same thing on the mouse over effect. So I'll simply copy the code and I'll come here and I will paste it, and this time I'm going to run the same loop. I'm going to create 10 particles. So the moment I will over my mouse, you will see the particle will start generating. As you can see, the particles are start generating. It's keep generating. If I leave my mouse on the canvas, not touch, even not click, it will not generate any particles. But the moment I will click, it will generate particles. The moment I will move, it will start generating the particles. So we can successfully create the particles on the canvas. What if I want to remove these particles? As you can see, these particles are staying on the canvas or covering the entire canvas, but I want that get reduced in size and get removed from the canvas. So how I can do that? For doing that, I'll come to my div function, and here I'll say if, here I have to define the size, that what size I want to make my particles. So initially they will have a different size, but I want to bring them into a certain size. So in the next function I can able to remove them out of the canvas. So first here I will say that, sorry, greater than 0.2, then I want to say this dot size is going to be minus 0.1. So what this function will do, this if statement will do, when the particle will get generated, it will have random size. So those particle who has smaller than this value, it will reduce its to 0.1, and it will look very small on the canvas. So let me save it, and the moment I will over my count, as you can see, they are getting small in size. As you can see, the size is getting small, but still those particles are there on my canvas, they are moving. So the moment I will just uncomment this function, you will see they will have the same size and it will move all around my canvas. But I want to reduce, but this function is reducing the particle size just like this. But now the question is, I want to remove this particle out of my canvas, and I want that when they reach that particular size, I want to remove them from my canvas. So how I can do that? So for doing that, I have to come here in my particles handle function, and here I have to write the function for that, for removing those small tiny particles out of my canvas. So now what I want to remove these small particles from the canvas. So for that I have to write another function in my update particles, handle particles, inside this. So when it's go to a certain size, I want to remove that. So that's what I'm going to write here. So let's come here into my handle particles, and I say if particles array, I'm looping through this, and I'm saying that size is small or equal to 0.3. You can take any value, and this time I'll say particles array dot splice I1. So splice is a method in a JavaScript which help you to remove an array from any arrays. So you can set the condition and you can use it. So here what I will do, I'll say I minus minus, and I will save it, and the moment I'll over it, as you can see, now we don't have those particles. Let me zoom it so you can watch it. So I think I'm zooming it. Okay, so as you can see, let's see, now we don't have those particles at the background. It's successfully removing out of my canvas. If I do console log here, you can able to see that. So I'll say console.log, and here I will call particles.length, and you will find that how these particles are getting removed from the canvas. So I'll save it. Let's come to my canvas here, and I can do one thing. I can just simply click on this. Let's come to my console, and I'll say click on this. As you can see, you can able to see this number. One is removing, then 18, 19, 16. This is how we are removing like particles from the canvas. If I increase this number to 2, so at a time this splice will remove 3 particles from the canvas. So if I save and if I come, as you can see, 17, 16, then 13, then 10. So this is how it's removing, but I want to keep it to 1. It's for a smooth animation. So let's get rid of this particle. So like we are almost done with these particles. Now you can able to create this, beautiful particles. I also want to add color to this particle. So how I can do that? So let me show you that how you can do the changes in the color. Right now it's black because here we have done a hard coded color. Let me do it quickly. So I'll come here and let's write up here, and here I've taken another variables. I'll call it let. You can take, because I'm going to update this value, so that's why I'm not going to use the const. So I'll say I call it color, color, and initially it's going to be 0 because I'm going to update this value over on the click event or on the mouse move event. So I'll come here, and here I have to, in this class constructor, so I'll come here, and here I'm going to create another variable. So I'll say this dot color, And inside this I'm going to use the HSL color, and this is I learned from the Frank. He's amazing on this Canvas tutorial, so he taught me all those things. I was watching his video, so these are the trick I found really very interesting in his videos, and I'm replicating the same tricks for generating this color. Here I'm using HSL, you can use RGB, it's totally up to you. So inside this I'll simply use this plus icon to concatenate. So here I have called the color color. This is the property I guess I have taken here. So let's copy this. I'm really bad with the spelling, so let's come up here and let's say color, and I use this plus, and here I'm going to use this 10%, 100% and 50%. So in HSL you understand, like we have three colors, red, green, blue, yellow. So this is the color we're going to update whenever we mouse over or whenever we click on the canvas. So here I have provided the property, and the same thing what I will do, I will not do the heart. So I'll show this dot color, and let me save it. So let's see, as you can see right now we are getting red color, but we're getting only red color because I'm not updating this value. This hue value is, this color value is fixed. I have to update this color value to get different colors whenever we move our mouse. So let's come down here. So I can do here, I can just simply call here in my animation function. So I'll say color, and I'll say plus plus. If I do this, so every time we mouse over in the canvas or we click, the color will get updated, the value of the color will get updated 1. So as you can see right now we're getting this different colors, orange. This is how we can do it. And you can do one thing, you can increase the speed of the color as well. So if you want to change the color very fast, you can do that. This is how you can do it. So you can give any higher value. I'll say 5. As you can see, the color is changing very quickly. If I do this to 15, the color will change rapidly, and I can move it on my canvas and I can change the color. I hope you are learning something new. I learned this recently on the canvas, so I thought let's make a tutorial on this, and I hope you guys are enjoying this. And that's it. But before I end this video, I want to show you one more thing, so how you can have a fading part into this canvas. So let me show you what I mean by that. So what if I just simply uncomment this and I will just move my canvas. As you can see, we are getting this beautiful effects. So this is the frame, so this is the technique, this is the code structure which you can follow, and it's totally up to you. You have to use some transition. Right now I'm not removing the clear rect, I'm not removing the back patterns, that's why I'm getting this different style. So if I uncomment this function is removing the previous path, and that's why we are not getting this any trackable pattern. But if I comment this section, as you can see, we can able to have this patterns. Or we can do one thing. So let's do a little bit experiment before we end this video. So let's say ctx.fill, I'll call it rect, and inside this I'm going to pass the value. X coordinate is going to be 0 and y coordinate is going to be 0, and I'll take the canvas dot width is going to be this, and height canvas dot height, and for the color I'm going to use the RGB. So is it black? As you can see, this is the beautiful design you can give, different colors you will have. So you can click this function as well. You can see this will look beautiful. And if I do one more thing, like if I add one more property to this fill style, and here I take the RGB color, let's say RGBA color, and inside this I'll take the red is going to be 0, white is 0 and 0, and the third, and opacity is going to be, I'll say, let's take it 2.3. and if I save it, as you can see, we are getting this beautiful effect, disco lighting effect. We are getting this disco lighting effect. And if I just save it, this is how is everything looking. So this is how you can create different patterns. So if I uncomment this part and this clear rack, this is how it will look. We will have this structure. If I uncomment this, we'll have this part. So I hope you have learned something new. So again, I'm telling you that this code is available on my website. Open a new tab and let me show you how you get that. So simply let me make a full width and type daulathussain.com, and this is my website. All the codes you can able to find on my website, whatever I do. So simply go to this blog section, and here this is the articles which I have written. Scroll all the way down. Here I have explained everything. I have attached the video, you can watch it. Here I've explained, provided you all the codes, so you can simply copy the code or come all the way down to this location. So simply scroll all the way down, and here you will find the code. You can simply download it from here. So I hope you have learned something new today, and once again I'm telling you that don't just watch this video, just try to give practice from your ends, because the more you play with this code, because this is the structure, this is the code structure for the canvas when you want to draw any particles on the canvas. So you can use the same structure and then come to your creativity. You can use, instead of using this circle, you can use like different shapes, star, rectangles, polygons. So there are a lot of triangles, a lot of shapes are there which you can, instead of circle, you can put into the draw function and you can create different function. Very soon I'm bringing that tutorial on my channel, so you can follow and you can watch that as well. And again I'm telling you that you must watch Frank tutorial, because he's amazing. He made a lot of good tutorial on this Canva project, that how you can build games, how you can make a audio visualizer. So a lot of things you have taught in his video, so I must tell you to have a look on those tutorial. And I hope you have learned something this amazing today about the canvas and how you can use it. Hope you have liked this video. If you have any questions, any doubt, leave that in the comment section. I would love to help you in that, and I would love to explain more on this canvas tutorial, that if you want to know anything else regarding this canvas or any other project, because recently I'm working on a multiple project. Let me show you. So I have been working on this project. This is the dashboard which I have designed for medical professionals. So I hope you would like it. As you can see, I have included a tons of features in this, like this is a chat box, this nice over effect, and this is the other project which I'm working on. Like, this is all in one application. You can easily able to send mails, you can able to search. I have included this login, there's subscriptions. So a lot of features I have built in this. Very soon I will make the video live on YouTube, so you can watch it. And if you want to get this template, simply visit my website. There in the project section you will find all these things, and you can play from your end. If you come up something better, do share with me, and I would love to see at your works. So that's it in this video. If you have any question, any doubt, leave that in the comment section. I would love to help you in that. Have a wonderful day. Bye bye.